Welcome to my main show today. Thanks for joining us. My name is Ed. I'm coming to you live from Rooster Farms on the big island of Hawaii, where we have an active volcano. I'm going to set up my show here. I do have the long awaited OG, the OG coffee. Finally, I got it. It's all ready to go. So, I'm going to get that started here. Boop. Give me 1 sec while I set this stuff up. We're gonna do some giveaways today, and we got that OG coffee. I don't know if that's one grade below the Hawaiian, which will be only 19 bucks a pound. And I know some of you guys are frustrated by my labeling. I got nothing to say to that, honestly. You guys should be frustrated. I will. It's gonna take me a while to fix that. Right now, it's the only thing we can do. So I totally understand if you're like, I don't want to order this anymore. I don't even know what I'm ordering. I'm working on it, but I'll let you know when the labeling is good. I totally understand if you hate my labeling. It's so frustrating. I understand. You're right, and there's nothing else I can't nothing I can say to defend that. So I apologize, and I'm working. I'm gonna get there, but it's gonna take time. So I'll let you know when the labeling is better. So, and then it'll be make a better gift or whatever it is. You need more white coffee. This stuff is you need it. It's hard. It's hard to live without it. I'm actually I'll just drop my phone there. I don't know where you guys went now. We got our first giveaway though, and I'm just setting up the show here. Ah, I think he's page plant lover. So frustrating. Everything is so frustrating. You guys ever notice how slow the internet is? And like I got this case. It seems really cool, but then this case doesn't fit in the freaking case holder. So now I gotta take it off. It's like just poor designs. And then now this the case has this additional thing to it with like the battery pack. And I don't know, guys. It's just life is frustrating. Modern life is frustrating. They make the internet faster and faster, but it doesn't make things any better. Now I can't even take this freaking case off. What the hell is that? Can't even take this case off now. It's like stuck. Ridiculous. Ridiculously frustrating. Here we go. Like the internet gets faster and faster, but everything gets slower and slower. You guys ever notice that? I'm an old man now. I remember the days where the dial up internet was faster than the internet we have now. And you add all these gadgets on the apps on the website. Doesn't make anything better. They force us to pay more, faster and faster, but it doesn't even get any faster because then they make it. Because then they make it more and more gadgets and gizmos and the more data they have, the more data you need, and now it's slower and slower and slower. And beef prices are going up. AI is not going to fix your beef prices. You think AI is going to fix your beef prices? Not going to fix your beef prices. Not going to make more. Nope. So they're just investing in the nerds, in the computer nerds, making them more and more obsolete. It's just they're just pricing themselves out of the market. And meanwhile, I got these spaceships. Maine Lobster, thanks for the raid. I raided another lobster guy this morning. I'm sorry about that. I was looking for you, but I think I raided some lobster person in Oregon. And but I was looking for you. I was keeping an eye out for Maine lobsters because Maine lobsters get massive. Will it take my job though? Not if you're doing a man's work. It's not going to take your job. It's only going to take jobs from the nerds. I will get you guys next time. Not if it's only gonna take educated people's jobs, and I used to be educated, but now I'm a manual laborer. So it's actually really good for manual labor. It's really good for live sellers. It's not gonna take our jobs. No one's gonna buy. No one's gonna buy anything from an AI. So all they're doing is taking their own jobs. Not gonna make beef prices go down. It's not gonna. It's not gonna. It's not gonna help. It's not helping any of us. It got rid of my need for lawyers, definitely. So that was good. I hate lawyers. So I didn't need any lawyers to do my patent. That was awesome. So thanks, AI. Getting rid of more nerds. Any nerds out there? I'm sorry if you're a nerd and I'm insulting you. It's gonna take your jobs. It's gonna take the programmers' jobs away. Finally. Take the lawyers' jobs away. Yeah, AI was awesome for like legal stuff. It was amazing. So much better than a lawyer. But other than that, it doesn't do anything. It's also good at making spreadsheets. It's good at harvesting data off the internet, so I can get lots of phone numbers that I would have had to pay for. All right. That's my commentary of the day. Tomatoes. They're not going to grow more tomatoes. Not going to. You could do well growing tomatoes, Anzu. Yumar, are you telling me you're a nerd? I wish I was a nerd. I used to be a nerd, and then I got my brain damage. And now I'm so much happier. Translator's job gone. Gone. Medical coder gone. They're taking your jobs. You guys got to come out to Hawaii and start weed whacking. There's going to be a maybe eventually I will take the weed whackers jobs too. Registered nurse. They're probably not going to take your job, right? Because people need the nurses. Maybe less need for doctors, more need for nurses. You're coming out. Umar, you got to come by. I'm going to make a day where I'm at the farm. Oh, you missed us. It's too bad. Nurses are the nicest people. You got to really care to be a nurse. Some nurses aren't that great though. There's always a bad apple. Going to Hawaii. Hawaii's fun. It's really clean. It's expensive. I was talking to a cab driver here and he was like, people are raising the prices even more on Hawaii and it's pricing everyone out. But then when you get to Hawaii, you're paying these luxury prices, right? You're paying Cayman Island prices. But then you get here and you're like, what the fuck? Where's the luxury? You're paying Cayman Island prices for Jamaican shacks. But Hawaii's great. A lot of fun though. People are cool here. But they keep on raising the prices, apparently. So it's getting less and less affordable. They only want rich people to come, but when rich people come, they're like, this is not luxury. I'm paying I could go to the Maldives. So move Hawaii closer to the US. I had this theory that Hawaii is actually like if the earth is flat, if you were flat earth and Hawaii is actually here. And so when you fly, you're actually flying off the flat earth and going to Hawaii up here. So this is the flat earth here, this is the lower 48 and this is the upper Hawaii. So that's why they call it the lower 48 cuz Hawaii actually floats above the flat earth. You guys ever have thoughts like that? Sandon, I got the OG. I got the OG in. So I promised you. I haven't seen it yet, so I better wait till tomorrow to run, or should I just run it now? I got this OG coffee. I'm gonna call it the OG. I'm not gonna tell you what the OG stands for. All right, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna call it the OG coffee. Full transparency here. I'm gonna call it the OG coffee, but I'm not gonna tell you what OG stands for, because if I told you, then you're gonna think there's something wrong with it. The OG coffee is the lowest grade of coffee, the smallest beans that we have, and it's not going to come with any guarantees, guys. No guarantees. It's probably still a higher quality than the coffee you guys are buying in the stores, but it's going to give you all of the same res- milder, but it doesn't come with any guarantees. That's all I got to say. But it is going to taste like Kona coffee, and I'm going to do these in pounds. This is the extra dark OG grade. And I got 40 of these. So if you guys want them in pounds, I think I'll make this a buy it now. How about that? All right, 19 bucks, guys. There's no sales on this. It is what it is. The OG coffee right here. Extra dark, 16 ounces, 19 bucks a pound. This is gonna almost like Pete's. Are you talking about my thumb? This is almost like Pete's coffee. You want me to make it 15 bucks a pound? I wouldn't. It's not scary. It's like your Pete's, but it's gonna be sweet and smooth, but it's also gonna be like Pete's, so a little bit more jittery. It's gonna be like your regular coffee, but just sweeter and smooth. It tastes like Kona coffee, but will affect you like your regular coffee. See, I'm not good at selling it. I can't get too excited about it. But here we are. If you guys want to try the OG, it's actually really good, but I don't know. OG means off grade, guys. Ch- Ed Chenab. So Sandon's the only one that wanted it. I got to figure out a better way to sell it. Next round. Next, you guys are going backwards. It's the original gangster coffee. That's right. It's the OG, all grown in America. It's a full pound for 19 bucks. I'm not that confident. I didn't want to sell. I'm dogging it. All right, we're gonna come back to this another time. We're gonna let Sandon tell everyone about it, because I don't know. I'm psychologically conditioned to not want to sell this coffee. They tell us don't sell this coffee. You can't tell people it's from Hawaii. You can't. People still sell it. That's why I tell people don't get the ground coffee, because you can grind up the OG and call it Kona coffee, and you wouldn't know the difference. Only I know the difference, right? So that's the OG. So you would have no idea if someone just ground up the OG, sent it to you, charged you 90, 80 bucks a pound for it. It cost them 15, 14, 10. That's right. That's right. If you're not making your chocolate covered coffee with the good stuff, the pea berry, you're going to be making it with the OG. And that's also why I used to tell people don't buy chocolate covered coffee. Don't buy coffee that's ground into chocolate. Don't do that, cuz they might be using the OG. This is a terrible way to try to sell coffee. I don't think this is going to work out today, guys. I screwed up again. You can tell how good the show is going to be right off the bat. And if I'm not focused right off the bat, then the show is just terrible. No one wants to buy anything. So, I don't know about that. All right, let's just move on. All right, so let's just start over. My name is Ed. I'm coming at you live from Rooster Farms, live from the farm here on the Big Island of Hawaii, where we have an active volcano. This volcano is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're here to buy the good stuff. You know, you can buy the OG in the stores for cheap. Lizard, where's the lizard? Every time you guys say that, I feel like you're yelling at me. I don't know why. There it is, the lizard. There it is. All right, look at the geckos and the lizards. Let's take a breath. Let's start this over. So, my name is Ed. I'm coming to you live from Rooster Farms on the Big Island of Hawaii, where we have an active volcano here. You guys are live at the farm now, and this volcano is constantly replenishing the soil with micronutrients. So, our beans here will grow larger than beans from anywhere else in the world. We have a denser bean and a bean that reaches its full genetic potential. So, our coffee is on a different level because of that active volcano. It's everything here grows bigger, more aromatic, brighter colors, and same thing with the coffee, right? It's kind of equivalent. That each note in the coffee is like a bright color in a flower, and because of all the micronutrients in our soil and that constant replenishment of it, which is even more important, our coffee beans just grow bigger than beans from anywhere else, richer in flavor, closer to its full genetic potential. Uncomparable. You cannot find coffee like this anywhere else in the world. So we're also the northernmost coffee growing region in the world. So the beans here will get um, will get larger as a result of more sunlight and longer growing days. So those two factors make the beans here grow larger and more oily. You got it for $1, Holland finds. And but the reason why our coffee is so sweet and all of the flavor profiles of our coffee is just going to be incredibly sweet without any acidity or bitterness in it. And the reason for that is because of how we pick the coffee. We pick all of the coffee by hand. We're only picking coffee that's soft and ready to fall off the trees. I'm gonna let a few people get $1 on this because once you buy one, then later in the show you're gonna be like, I want some free shipping, and my shipping's down to $2. Might as well get something else. So I'm just gonna run a few of these in the beginning where you guys get it for almost nothing. Because you are paying $6 for the shipping. Let's admit that's crazy. And so buying just one item and then for $1, but paying $6, $7 for shipping, you're gonna want to buy more than one item. Anyway, so this coffee is all picked by hand, and because it's all picked by hand, we can allow the fruit. We can only pick the coffee that's deep red, purple, or brown. We can pick the coffee that's overripe and ready to fall off the trees. And so the coffee, the amount of sugar in the coffee is way more than coffee from anywhere else. Most of the world's coffee is picked with a machine, right? And when you pick coffee with a machine, something like 20% of the beans ends up being unripe. And unripe coffee tastes like any other unripe fruit. The sourness, the bitterness, that all comes from unripe coffee that was picked too early. If you make a banana bread and 20% of the bananas are green, what happens? It's going to hurt your stomach. It's going to be the worst banana bread you ever tried. No matter how much cream or sugar you put in there, your stomach is going to be tossing and turning. You're going to be getting you're gonna get the gnawing feeling caught in your stomach. You're gonna get like a weird aftertaste that just sits in your mouth, and that's the problem with machine harvested coffee. And if you're buying coffee for less than $20 a pound, I can almost guarantee you it was machine harvested. But it has to. You have to apple bananas, and we have to machine harvest most of our coffee because they're just otherwise we'd be paying $30 a pound for coffee, like even for cheap coffee, and people need their caffeine. So the machine harvested coffee is like the staple. It's just what everyone drinks. The instant coffees, all that stuff, all machine harvested. But when you start getting into specialty coffees, it has to be hand picked. It's coming from usually from a single region, and that hand picked coffee, even compared to hand-picked coffees, as our coffee is going to be way sweeter and smoother. Most hand-picked coffee is very smooth, but not quite as sweet as ours, but it does tend to be fruitier, much more acidic and citrus, and You'll get a lot of hand-picked coffees from single origin farms that are that are roasted lightly, but then it's too sour to drink. Whereas our coffee will not have any sourness or bitterness in it because not only are we hand picking it, but we're waiting for the coffee to become deep red, purple, or brown before even picking it off the street. Sandon makes an offer. I will accept your offer, Sandon. You get 2 pounds of the extra dark. And the extra dark coffee is actually the OG is actually going to be really good if if you're having a it's actually going to be really good. I just I got to get my head. Okay, Sandon, I'm glad you got the price you wanted. You deserve it. You do. You've been you should get this coffee for free. Anyway, this is the dark coffee though is the one you want to start with. These come in individually packaged bags here. These are the 2-ounce bags, so they are overkill on the packaging. You could throw these into the freezer, and this makes about a pot of coffee. You're gonna make 4 8-ounce cups or more, and this the dark roast is the one I suggest you start with. The flavor profile of the dark roast tastes like a dark chocolate caramel, almost like a toasted caramel, especially when you make it with the drip coffee. It's actually really good with drip, um, and the dark roast is still relatively light. It's still relatively light for a dark roast. So if you really like, if you like a medium roast, I would still suggest getting the dark roast first. The only complaints I've ever gotten were for our light roast because people say it's too mild. Whereas the dark roast, people taste it and they're just like, wow, I can drink this coffee black. I don't need to add cream or sugar. It doesn't hurt my stomach at all. And so the dark roast is the one you want to start with, right? If you're looking for a coffee that won't give you acid reflux, that won't give you indigestion, if you've been thinking about giving your coffee up because you're thinking coffee is kind of like a vice, you're wondering if you should be drinking coffee for whatever reason, this coffee will change your mind about coffee, I think, because uh, it doesn't hurt your stomach at all, doesn't give you any acid reflux, doesn't give you indigestion, guaranteed, or your money back. So try this 2 ounce and you're gonna notice that right away. It will not hurt your stomach. It won't give you you're gonna notice, sometimes you drink coffee and you get kind of Hershey's Hershey Hershey syrup farts, you know. Sometimes your stomach starts to feel like something's gnawing at it. Sometimes it makes your poop too hard. Oh, darn it. And if you the espresso, I would say the medium roast is really good for espresso. A blonde roast. Our medium roast is closer to the blonde, but you can start trying the light roast. The nice part about our light roast is it's not sour. You do combine shipping, so after buying your first item, I think you're shipping $6. Second item's $2. Third item's like $1, and after that, it's free shipping. So it's good to get a bunch of 2 ounces and kind of combine them across the shows. I would start with this dark roast, try a little bit of each with these 2 ounces. It does bundle, and the dark roast is you can drink it black, it's smooth, it's sweet, there's no bitterness and there's no sourness. And it really comes down to how we pick the coffee. We only pick the coffee overripe. We only pick the coffee that falls off to the touch. We don't go out and start picking until we see that our first berry has turned brown. So all this coffee is grown on these small 6-acre farms, but will the 2 ounces come in a pound package? No, each one is gonna be 2 ounces. Sandon, I'm only accepting offers from you, Sandon. No, you guys can make offers. I'll probably try to sell through. In fact, you know what? Since Sandon got it for 16 average, they're already prepackaged, and yeah, it is a little bit of a waste of packaging. You're right. I got my new. Am I lagging? Sorry, let me. Oops, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Vanessa. Just gotta print some stuff here. Just gotta print some stuff, guys. OG means off grade, guys. All right, I'm just gonna print a few things. Vanessa, can I ask you to watch the printer? If it needs more paper, load the paper. If it starts piling up, just move them to the side because it tends to start doing that. Thanks.
Do you know what the 5 pound unroasted Kona grade is? That's all it says.
Unroasted. I have to get that's green coffee, so I have to get that. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have that. Okay, there's probably 150 pages printing, so you will have to just pay attention to it for a little bit. Thanks. And you'll probably have to change the paper too. And we have paper here. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Tut's gold. You know, Tut, King Tut. So we were talking about how Egyptian is English, right? And so King Tut's dad was Akhenaten, and he tried to destroy the religion of Egypt. He tried to make Egypt monotheistic. He tried to get rid of the old gods, and his wife was Nefertiti, n- which means Nefer means beautiful, and Titi, well, I think we all know what that means. But but their son was Tutankhamun, right? And if you that's just he was known for bringing the religion back to the people. So he was Tutankhamun, like Tuottin apostrophe Coocommon. He was Tutankhamun. So Egyptian is just English. It's just spelled weird. And there's a million examples of that. I can give you one. You're like, I guess so. It's kind of weird. Oh, he was Tutankhamun. And you can switch the P's and the F, so it's actually Nefertiti, which means she had a nice neck. Nape, Napertiti. And their kid, Tutankhamun. He was Tutankhamun, kind of like me. I'm Tutankhamun. All right, guys. He needed the gas X. The beans. So if you give up coffee, guys, that's the other thing about coffee. You guys didn't know. You guys probably didn't know, but coffee has one 8-ounce cup has 1.5 grams of fiber. You're getting fiber in your coffee. You drink a 16-ounce cup, that's equal to eating one banana. And there's as much fiber in an 8-ounce, a 16-ounce cup of coffee as there is in one of those the new poppy sodas, the fiber sodas. So you give up coffee, you got to think to yourself, where am I going to get my vegetables? Where am I going to get my antioxidants? Where am I going to get my fiber? So if you're thinking giving up coffee is going to make you healthier, you're wrong. I used to think the same thing. I thought coffee was a vice. I thought it was bad for you. I thought I was smoking a cigarette, but it's actually good for you. Um, it's actually got fiber in it. It's got this compound which feeds this gut bacteria, butyric acid fermenting bacteria in your stomach. And the only other food that does that is beans. So if you're giving up your coffee, you better start eating beans, because if you don't eat your beans and you're giving up your coffee, you're probably just going to die. Your skin's going to start flaking off, and also your digestion's going to go. I'm serious. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. So, don't give up coffee. Latent flour. I'll run some Peaberry for you after this. So we have different grades of coffee. You can take a look at my show notes. I don't have show notes today. Let me go fix my show notes. I'm a mess today. I'm a mess every day. That's why you guys like watching this show, isn't it? You like to see me a total mess. You're like, what is Ed gonna say today that's gonna make us think he's a mess? My woofers used to say I'm a hot mess, but I think I'm just a mess. I'm a complete mess, guys. Like a morning smoke. I used to smoke a lot, but I don't smoke anymore. Because of my wife. I'm not allowed. I might once in a while sneak around and do it. But I can't do it regularly. I can't do it openly. No, you should not stop coffee. For real, you shouldn't. Coffee has this fiber compound, has this compound that feeds your gut bacteria, butyric acid fermenting bacteria, which you lose as you get older. The only people who still have it um, are people who eat beans or people who drink coffee. And there's been study after study that shows people who drink coffee live longer than everyone else and healthier. And part of that reason is because of that gut bacteria that it feeds. It's got fiber in it. It's got antioxidants, polyphenols, and it's got this other compound trigonally, which you can go on my YouTube and take a look at that because I don't want to talk about it here. I don't want, you know, I don't want them saying I'm selling supplements. Do you want to live forever? I don't. I don't want to live forever. All right, let's do some pea berry now. So our yeah, we have that OG coffee, which is an off grade, and Sandon made it okay for me to run at 16. Is that going to make you buy it if I run at 16? That's it's a thin margin, but you know what? If you guys want to make this OG coffee a regular thing, OG coffee is just the smallest beans that we have, like the smallest of the small. It's like the same size as coffee coming from everywhere else in the world, which is kind of ridiculous. So it's small, but it's still the same size as the rest of your coffee. So it's gonna taste like Kona coffee, but the beans are as small as coffee coming from Colombia, Ethiopia, just the smaller regions, Maui, small beans, and and those smaller beans have just a little bit more of the compounds in the coffee that give you the jitters. So you will get, have all the effects of your regular coffee for the same price, but better tasting. You're going to 110 discount deals. When you hit 110, what happens? Your kids are going to be 90. Many of them probably died. All your friends are dead. Um, your wife's dead. Maybe that's a good thing. You're free, finally. But your wife is probably there with you. Yep. Last man standing. You got no friends unless you're hanging out with like your kids' friends because they're 80 and you're 110. Maybe your grandkids are 60. I don't know about living to 110. Maybe you're outliving your grandkids and like everyone you know is dead, right? You got technology that you can't even use. 110 years ago was 1920. Imagine living through that. World War II, Vietnam, Korea, and you're still going. Can't see the screen. Give me one sec, guys. All right, sorry, guys. 50 pounds of OG. I'll get more, Sandon, if this is popular. Some of you guys may find that the OG is fine, and then maybe this is the one you want, and you want to get it for 16, so you're not paying any more compared to what you guys are paying for Pete's. I'll make this available. So, all right, so we got our Peaberry, which is the highest grade or the rarest of all our coffees. At the supermarket, you're almost never going to find a Peaberry at the supermarket. We have one store out here that sells Peaberry, and they sell it for $56 for 7 ounces, which puts you at 140 bucks a pound. And that's not even that unreasonable. I've had people try to sell me unroasted pea berry for $80 a pound, which I was like, you're trying to rip me off, right? But I don't know. So these need to be around 8 or more. It's the so pea berry happens at the tips of the trees. They happen at the tips of the trees. It's a mutation in the coffee, so it's a really special bean. It's one in maybe 1 in 100 beans becomes pea berry. This is what it looks like, right? It's a pea. It looks like a pea. Do you guys see that? It's a different shape. It's like a football. And that happens because one of the beans normally have two flat halves, and one of the beans takes over the entire fruit. And this is our medium, also run it dark. And so the pea berry is denser than other coffees. It's extremely dense. It's extremely smooth, and the medium roast is fruity. Has a honey finish. You know how honey is a little bit tart, but very sweet. It actually tastes like bees honey when you drink the medium. The body of the pea berry is much richer. It's considered like the champagne of coffee. It's just the rarest. It takes 100 pounds of our coffee to make 1 pound of pea berry. Let me do a 8 ounce bag of the pea berry for you. I don't do them in larger than 8 ounce bags because if I do like a $1 start on an 8 ounce bag goes for 10 bucks. I just lost like $30. Um, so yeah, I'm not doing the pea berries for that. So this is a 8 ounce bag of pea berry for 32. The 2 ounce bags are like this. So it's one bag, about one full bag, one coffee bag worth. The 8 ounce bag is like this, four of these. So 8 ounces will make you 16 8 ounce cups of coffee or more. Most people are, and the 8 ounce is $32 for the pea berry. At the store, you'd be paying $56 for this. You gotta just drink the coffee faster, Islander. It's better for you to drink the coffee as you need it than to stock up. It really is. So I'd much rather you take your time, drink the coffee, buy the coffee fresh. You're sharing. Well, I really appreciate you sharing the coffee. I think most people don't know about this coffee. Pea berry, really, the medium pea berry is really good for an espresso. You can also do a pour over. Yeah, people tend to want to do a pour over an espresso because it is like a higher grade. Drip does really well for this coffee, though. I think drip is underrated. Mendelheim, if you throw it in the freezer, it'll stay good for up to a year or more. If you leave it on the shelf, technically the shelf life is 12 to 18 months. It's yeah, you can easily use too much too because the pea berry is twice as dense. So when you're making it, you should make it based on weight rather than volume because the pea berry is actually going to be twice as dense. And so you only need to use half the grounds. And so it's easy to use too much. And when you use too much coffee, it's going to come out bitter no matter how good the coffee is. So yeah, so I would definitely suggest using a scale or just using less. Because yeah, pea berry is the actual beans, the actual grounds will be twice as dense as even your Kona coffee, and because of that, it's easy to use too much. Hey Vanessa, did you find the packaging? Okay. Is it like is it like critical right now for you to get it or? Okay, I'll look for it in a little bit. Okay. Here's a bag. Oh, $1 start. Here's a bag of our dark pea berry. The dark pea berry is, roasted darker. It's probably the richest. The color is around this. I don't have a dark pea berry show. I have the medium pea berry, but this one extremely rich, full-bodied coffee. You can put in your espresso, and you're gonna get this just the richest and most buttery coffee you'd be able to find anywhere. I was a little bit low, so I'm gonna just run these at my full. Even $8 is just a tiny bit on the lower end, so I'm gotta do it for 9. So the dark pea berry is gonna be the richest, smoothest dark you've ever tried. Almost buttery. for an 8-ounce cup, you want to use half an ounce by weight of grounds. So it's a 1 to 16 ratio. And the pea berry is considered the most complex in the flavor profile because it roasts differently. It's a denser bean. It's almost like a little pebble. And so it's more complex than your standard Kona. It's very much a novelty. Like personally, I like the extra fancy dark and medium more than the pea berry because it tends to be sweeter. Whereas the pea berry has this extreme rich smoothness to it, almost coats your tongue. So it depends on what you prefer, but they're both very different. Some people swear by the pea berry, and some people are like, oh, it's not worth it. So it really depends on what you like personally. Um, and that's our pea berry. Let's go back to the Hawaiian though. I really like to push the Hawaiian because it's just such a great daily drinking coffee. You can't really go wrong with it. The price is right. You know, it's a few dollars more than what you guys are paying for your regular coffee, but it's really not that much more. You end up probably, and especially if you're going out to buy your coffee, you're probably spending more just going to Starbucks. Like at Starbucks, if you're buying coffee for $4 a cup, right? $4, they give you 16-ounce cups, big ones. Let's say you're paying $4, you're actually paying $68 a pound for their coffee. And so you end up overpaying for coffee when you buy it made for you. I don't have any medium Kona, but I will give you a chance to get this medium estate, which is the 100% Kona coffee samples for $5. It makes you 8 cups. That's awesome. Yeah. Some people are making, the coffee much less strong. So the medium estate is fruity, tastes like a chocolate covered raisin, almost like a raisinette. So this one is really worth trying. The estate coffee usually is $72 a pound, so it's one grade higher than the Hawaiian. It's bigger, slightly bigger. I wouldn't say the beans are necessarily bigger, but they are denser and they're better looking beans. Some of the best looking beans that we have. The Kona estate, I'll do a $1 start on that. Let's see if you guys. So this is the only medium that we have. I usually have a medium Hawaiian, and yeah, even the Hawaiian's gonna be far better than anything you find in the store. But this Kona, if you get it in the store, I think in Chicago, people are telling me they're selling this for 85, $90 a pound. I'm running just a little bit of a sale on this, but this medium 4 cups. That's about right. Yeah, usually you should be able to get 4 8-ounce cups out of our 2 ounces and really good cups. Some people will get more, but the correct ratio is 4 8-ounce cups. And the medium estate is fruity. It's a great one to start with, especially at this price. This is a sale price right now because I got too much of this medium estate roasted. So this is 8 days old, $11. That's crazy. Well, they charge you like $5 for the first one, and then like three. You probably got $5 for the first shot, and then 175 for each additional shot. These 2 ounces will make 4 double shots of espresso, and why don't I run another dollar start here? And this one is, I think this one's the best one for making espresso right now in terms of if you're more advanced. You got them. All right, I'm glad. If you guys are missing anything, just send me a message. I will always fix that. And I appreciate you guys supporting our farm. The medium estate is the top 4 grades of coffee, all mixed up together. What happened? Email me later. I don't know what you did. And the medium pea berry is 100% Kona. It's usually $72 a pound. It's like a chocolate covered raisin, almost. Oh, no worries. It's almost like a raisinette, I think, is how I describe it, with a little bit of Nutella. It is slightly buttery, except for the packaging. Just I know the packaging sucks. I still haven't figured out a good way to fix that. I'm gonna try to get labeling or maybe pre-printed bags with like all the options, and we're just gonna exit. But everything takes a long time. I'm trying to get it together, guys. I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get it together. It's always been hard for me to get it together. I appreciate that, Islander, even though I kind of messed up your order twice. Mm. I'm drinking my white right now. If you don't mind writing it yourself, then I do really appreciate that. I got some better, glass packaging. I'm trying to get stickers together. I'm trying to stay focused. Anyway, so the estate. So again, if you guys are just joining me, I'm coming at you live from Hawaii here. We're live at the farm. We're a Kona coffee farm. Kona coffee first got this farm was planted in 1823, and we have 6 acres. All of this coffee is grown on small 6 acre farms. All the coffee you see in my bin is coffee that I at least grow some of, and most of it, except for the Katura. Yeah, Ted Kerr, I know. And then I keep getting new people, and they all have different handwriting, and some of them, it's a mess. Hawaii is a mess. You come to Hawaii with big dreams, and you end up drowning in the weeds. You can't even get a 2x4 up the hill. It comes in a truck in boxes. It helps. It definitely is better than not having any labels, right? So, but yeah, so the way you can tell how long your coffee is from the store is you look at the best by date and you backdate that 12 to 18 months. So let's say it's September 2026. That means it was roasted between September 2025 and March 2025. Kind of ridiculous that coffee can be sitting there for that long. Whereas this coffee was roasted 9 days ago, which is old for us. That's why it's a little bit on sale. Our Hawaiian coffee was roasted on Saturday. Our off grade was roasted yesterday afternoon. And so, in that way, our off grade coffee, because of how fresh it is it's still going to knock the socks off of any other coffee, off of you. But this estate, I think, is the best value right now, even though it's 9 days old, which is not old. Um, it's 100% Kona. A lot of Kona coffees you buy are also sitting around for a long time. People don't move the volume that I do. And like any other coffee, I've had Kona coffees that bloomed, meaning they were moldy. So there's 650 different farms out here, which is part of the charm of the region. Every farm is different. We're part of a co-op of about 25 farms, so we do have some consistency in the coffee that we pick. Our picking is consistent. We're only picking the overripe beans. All the coffee has to be picked by hand. And we're only picking the beans that have turned soft and ready to fall off on the trees. They don't want you asking questions. No, you don't want to ask questions. I'll check them out. Even the rubber stamps sounds like a great idea, but having 20 different stamps like that, my employees are gonna get confused. Remember, most people in Hawaii are high, and it's very hard to do anything organized, especially packing things. It's actually really hard. It sounds funny, but it's not. It's too. You would lose a rubber stamp and the entire production goes down, right? So it's a problem. I'm trying to. I think it's gonna be like we're just gonna have two columns with boxes, and there's a check the roast, check the type. That might work. I mean, that's my 2 ounce estate there. Best one for espresso. We're coming direct from the farm. All this coffee is either coming from my farm or the around immediate surrounding 25 farms around us. So super fresh. Another thing about this coffee, right, is most of the world's coffee has to be shelled before it gets imported. Coffee actually has a shell on it. This is called coffee parchment. Most of you guys have probably never seen this before. And parchment is coffee with a shell on it. And coffee stays good indefinitely when it has the shell on it. It can stay good for years. Although we still try to roast our coffee within the year. it does lose some of its quality over it. And so when you see that Costco coffee for 18 bucks and it says Kona, it definitely makes me question because I know that there's tens of thousands of pounds of parchment from 2022, 2023 still sitting around, and maybe someone decided, hey, it's time for me to sell this coffee. And so there's 650 different farms. Some old coffee can be really good. Some old coffee is not so good. So you got to taste the coffee from every farm. Bougie Bees, thank you for the raid and really appreciate it. So this is our light Hawaiian. This one is the first roast where you can really taste the fruity and nuttiness of the coffee. And this one's going to give you a buzz 2 times stronger than your dark. You really start to feel the body high and the methylamine in the coffee. If you guys are interested in this particular compound that I've been obsessed with this for the last few months. It's called trigonylene. Trigonilline. I've been making some videos on them. I don't want to talk too much about it on my feed here because I don't want to be regulated as a supplement, but you can go on my YouTube there, give me a follow there if you want. I also simulcast, but go on the YouTube there and I have videos there discussing the science of the compounds in the coffee. I'm going to really just do a deep dive into all the different compounds in coffee, but one of the compounds in coffee is trigonylene. So there's two alkaloids in coffee, right? There's caffeine, that's something we all know about, but there's also this other compound, trigonylene. And when you roast trigonylene to 250 degrees, it becomes something called methylamine, which is the meth part of methamphetamine. It's not methamphetamine, it's the precursor. It's naturally occurring in fenugreek, naturally occurring in seafoods, Japanese radishes, things like that. But that's what's giving you the buzz in coffee. That's why when you drink coffee, the colors start to kind of come out. You definitely feel like you kind of smoked a cigarette in a way, and that's why a lot of us probably think coffee is a vice. But ironically, coffee, that trigonylene, which is the real active ingredient in coffee, that's why you can't drink caffeine and feel the way you feel on coffee. That trigonylene is actually good for us. And in the light coffee, something like 10% of it is left. In the dark coffee, I think 0.01% is left. So most of it has evaporated. That's why dark coffees don't affect you the same way as light coffees. And it's a lot of times someone will say, "Oh, light coffees have more caffeine in it, right?" And then you'll get a counter argument. Yeah, it does. It's like, but it's only 10% more, even five. It's almost nothing. So you're just imagining it. Well, it's true that light coffee only has about 10% more caffeine, but you're not imagining it. I hate when people tell me you're imagining it, like we're freaking retarded, like we don't have our own senses. It's insulting. But you're not imagining it. There's this other compound called trigonylene, which no one talks about, and it's being studied clinically for a whole bunch of almost like a miracle drug. You have to look into it yourself. But trigonylene is what's giving you the buzz in coffee. That's why you can't drink tea and feel the way you feel on coffee. That's why you can't just eat a caffeine pill or drink Coca-Cola or a monster drink. So trigonylene is what's giving you the buzz, and you only get that buzz in the light roast and the white coffee that we have. I would start with the light, and as your body builds a tolerance to it, then move to the dark. I mean, the white. The light coffee tastes a little bit like more like coffee. It tastes like a sweet, fruity kind of raisin, but a little bit of peanuts in there. So it is a little bit nutty too. Anyway, so trigonylene actually feeds your cells. It feeds your mitochondria. So if you guys know about supplements, you know about NAD plus. It's NAD boosters. People get shots for it. People get take supplements. But it turns out you don't have to take supplements. You can just drink coffee. That's another reason not to give up your coffee. Coffee actually feeds your muscles on the cellular level. It boosts your NAD levels. It does all sorts of other stuff that you can do the research on, but that's concentrated in the light and the white coffee. So we were talking about how people drink coffee live longer. They just live longer, especially if you drink with a paper filter. And this trigonylene in the lighter roast is one of the reasons. There's also this lighter roast is also packed with antioxidants, polyphenols. So you actually feel your gut, responding to it, and you definitely feel like you ate some vegetables. So before you give coffee up, try the lighter roast. Most of the time, light coffee is just too sour to drink. and so a lot of people will shy away from the light coffees. You go to Starbucks and you see those single origin coffees from Ethiopia. They're like $30 for 12 ounces, and then when you go to buy it, it tastes like a lemon juice. It was roasted light. It's too sour to drink. You're getting acid reflux. This light coffee will not do that. You get the buzz without, and so our light coffee is it gives you the buzz without the acidity, and so if you're really drinking coffee for the health benefits, you should find a way to incorporate light coffee or white coffee into your diet. It boosts metabolism, just does all sorts of stuff. All those things you hear about coffee is in the light coffee and the white coffee. So this is the one you want to drink if you are into, the health benefits. Again, if you guys are just joining us, we're coming at you live from Rooster Farms on the Big Island of Hawaii, where we have an active volcano. We pick all this coffee by hand. We never spray this coffee with um, any chemical pesticides. We're only using naturally occurring soil funguses and soil bacterias. And as a result of that, the beans here are cleaner. They're not going to give you the jitters. They don't give you acid reflux. They don't give you indigestion. When you drink this coffee for the first time, it's going to change your conception of what coffee is supposed to taste like. So you will not, it's not going to hurt your stomach, right? And a lot of us think drinking coffee is going to hurt your stomach no matter what. It's just part of the pain. It's part of what comes with the buzz. Is almost like smoking a cigarette to us. But this coffee will not give you acid reflux. It will not give you indigestion. If it does, I will give you 100% of your money back, guaranteed. It will not hurt your stomach, and it's because of how we pick it. So most of the world's coffee is picked with the machine, and when you pick coffee with the machine, something like 20% of the beans are unripe, and unripe coffee is like eating an unripe strawberry. All that acidity, all those tannins, all that bitterness gets into your coffee cup. And that's why, most of the world's coffee is so cheap, but and that's also why most of the world's coffee is so sour and so bitter. Coffee is any other fruit. You let a coffee sit on the tree for 4 weeks longer, it goes from green to white to pink to red orange to red to maroon to purple to brown. And we pick it at maroon, purple, or brown. We're waiting to last minute before it's ready to fall off the trees. A lot of times it rains and a lot of coffee just drops off the tree. Let's do a $1 start on one of these 12-ounce bags here. 12-ounce bag of the light Hawaiian, guys. We're doing a $1 start on it. Larger bags here. Our coffee, we are only picking the deep reds, the purples, the browns. We hit the same tree 4 or 5 times in a season. Whereas even a lot of hand-picked regions, they'll only pick it 2 or 3 times. We do that because we can pay people more here. We pay people up to $30 an hour to pick this coffee. That's why the coffee's more expensive. Not by choice that we pay that much. It's just no one shows up to work unless you pay them that much. But then the people who do show up pick extremely carefully. The coffee they're picking is just like when you see that bucket of our coffee, it's just like blood red. It's just purple. It's like amazing. $12. You got a great deal on that. I appreciate that, Just. Hopefully you're not going on other people's coffee shows tagging me. But other than that, that's awesome. I don't want you pissing off the other coffee sellers. They're like, this guy's got agents everywhere ruining our shows. Hopefully you're not doing that. I'm feeling a little bit uneasy now because my wife just called me and I ignored the call. So we're gonna see what that's about. She has extreme emotional issues, constantly needing support. And she's like, that's just human. I'm like, no, constantly needing support. It's like, stop it. And then if I say stop it, now I'm the asshole. It's like she's like, well, and you're anyway, it's a pain in my ass. Ever since she got off her meds. Everyone, she literally says, I realized I don't need meds. Everyone else is the problem. I'm not the problem. I'm like, how could you even say something like that? Do you even know how that sounds? And her psychiatrist, he should be disbarred. These people in New York City, they need to get, they need to be rubbed into the ground. They're incompetent. They're incompetent narcissists. That's what they are. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. That's right. That's right, Tuts Gold. I only sofa surf when I hang out with my wife. All right, 8 ounce medium. It's not a joke, Holder. It's funny, but it's not a joke. Yeah, her psychiatrist incompetent, retarded. These people are retarded. They're narcissists. They're retarded narcissists, and they need to be put under sanctions. We shouldn't be dealing with any of those people. Their reputation is artificial. They should be buried. They shouldn't be allowed to do anything. We're out of medium estate too. All right, good to know. We're out of medium estate. I think the people who are, in New York City, like Columbia University, the psychiatrists, they're just so used to being on top that they start cutting corners. Like Columbia defrauded the Department of Energy $1 million because they didn't have fume hoods. Like basic stuff. They just think it's okay because they're Columbia. They can do whatever they want. And then no one goes after them. You need large amounts of money to be able to do that. It's not even worth it. They only cheat poor people. And so, anyway, they're bad people. All right. Dark. Hey. Your 8 ounce estate, that's a dark. DP means dark prime estate. So that is correct. Um, the bag in the photo should be a brown bag. So if it looks gold, it's actually a brown bag. Yeah, we only have a brown bag and a white bag. So we don't have any gold bags. So if it looks like a gold bag, it's actually a brown bag. All right. All right. So sorry, I went off topic. I started drinking the white coffee. That tends to happen to me when I do that. I am starting to run low on some coffees. So here is a $1 start of our Kona medium pea berry. Did I have gold bags? I had, yeah, very briefly, but I don't think I ever put it on a listing. Sorry about that. Yeah. So DP dark prime estate. Sometimes they'll label it prime instead of estate, but it's the same thing for us right now. All right, we got a medium pea berry here. The pea berry, medium pea berry comes in these smaller bags, 2 ounces. These are the densest coffees that we have. The pea berry happens at the tips of the trees, and instead of having two beans, one of the beans takes over. So it is a rarity. It happens. Takes about 100 pounds of coffee to produce 1 pound of pea berry. In the stores, people are charging $56 for 7 ounces. The pea berry is fruity, has a little bit of a honey finish, and it's going to be the smoothest coffee that you're going to be able to buy on here. Um, and it is also the rarest. It takes 100 pounds of coffee to make 1 pound of pea berry. It's actually very hard to find pea berry, no matter how much you want to pay. There tends to be a waiting list for it, and I'm starting to run out of it. But hopefully, I'll be able to get a little bit more. I've been able to get pea berry pretty regularly lately, but it's not going to be the case forever. This pea berry was roasted middle of the week, so it was roasted on like Thursday, so it's about 5 days, 4 days old right now. Well, and that'll be the last one of that. We have let's see, we did the dark Hawaiians already. I also have an extra fancy. So the extra fancy beans, these are the extra fancy beans. And my wife was like, "Are you trying to ruin my psychiatrist's life? You mean after he ruined my life?" after he tried to take our daughter away because I said that, I complained about him and he called CPS because I said I was going to complain about you. He literally called CPS after I told him I'm complaining about you because you violated my patient client, confidentiality, which he did. He went around telling all of my wife and her family that I'm psychotic. It's like fucking retards. And these people just get away with it. And they shouldn't. Dr. Wager, New York City. Go get him, guys. Extra fancy coffee here. These are the biggest beans in the world. So this is the 19 screen or above. So about 5% of our coffee comes out as extra fancy. And you can see, let me compare these beans for you. My TikTok says my campaign is starting to work. They thought they'd get away with it, and now they're not. I'm sure he was blackmailed. I remember my dad told me people were trying to blackmail him into testifying against this lady and saying she's not crazy. And when he resisted that, all sorts of weird stuff started happening to him. And he actually died of cancer just 2 years after that, after he complained about, feeling uneasy all the time and being on, like, feeling like he's on stimulants. And he got yeah, they're assholes. They shouldn't be allowed. They should be under sanctions. Like, as soon as I hear something, New York City, I'm like, I'm not getting close to you at all. You just don't know. You don't know who's moving them around. So this is our extra fancy dark, and this is our Hawaiian dark. Take a look at that bean size difference. Massive, massive bean size difference. And this is the extra fancy. 19 screen or above. The bigger beans are smoother, sweeter, more oily, more aromatic. These are the biggest beans actually in the world. Beans don't grow this large anywhere else in the world. I put it on flash, so let me So beans don't grow this large anywhere else in the world. These are literally the biggest beans. I only have these in dark roast right now, and I'm starting to run out of these as well. So huge difference in bean size, right? Yeah. And then if you compare these to the beans you guys are buying in the store, even bigger bean size difference, ridiculously big. So that's what you guys are getting for 25 bucks here. I'll do one. I don't have the OG here, but I will bring that. I'll show you guys that maybe tomorrow. Um, So just, New York City is just a disgrace they just completely disgrace the medical industry, the psychiatric industry, the education industry, the political politics of this country. They're just a complete disgrace. They're they're disgraceful. They should be under sanctions. People should know. They should be under sanctions. They ruin the reputation of everyone because a bunch of narcissists can't follow rules. Too many people, and they all think they're the shit. You got 6 ounces for $4, Bach. That's crazy. We can't run this for $1, but congratulations. That's my giveaway for the day. So I got off topic. It's my own fault. I don't have any extra fancy medium here. We got a Estate Dark. Here's an Estate Dark for 21. But Bach, you got the best coffee possible for $4. So that was I usually do one 6 ounce giveaway of the extra fancy dark, but that was it. I can't afford to do anymore. Here's an 8 ounce dark of our Estate, which about a quarter, 25% of the Estate coffee is extra fancy. So you do get some extra fancy in the Estate. It's the top 4 grades of coffee, and it's been state inspected. This 8 ounce of Estate is probably the best deal right now. You're getting this is 100. It is 100% Kona coffee. These are the densest beans that we have. It combines 16, 17, 18, and 19 screens. So you're getting some of these huge beans in there, and it's just extremely smooth and sweet. Our coffee is guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion, or I will give you 100% of your money back. And I can make that guarantee because I've sampled this coffee out in person to thousands of people. And typically what happens is they come to the farm, they're feeling like weird because our farm's like way up this mountain road, and you kind of think someone, if you make a wrong turn, someone's going to come out and shoot you. It's not like that. People are nice here, but it does feel like that when I remember the first time I came up the hill. Definitely, you see these kind of shacks and rusty cars, and it looks like you're in a third world country. And you're like, if I'd make a wrong turn here, someone's gonna come out with a shotgun and shoot me. Um, I don't think I'm gonna do any givvies right now because that 6 ounce extra fancy was the givvy. um, the fear. It's true. I had that fear. I had that fear. Don't be sorry, Bach. You got the givvy. Yeah, New Jersey. Everything's nice and manicured. You know, the roads are nice. The cars are nice. Unless you go to Newark. You're from New Jersey. That's right. Which part of New Jersey, Jen? I bet. Stay away from New York. I went to school in Old Japan. Grew up in Washington Township, Point Pleasant. You're more Southern Jersey, right? I haven't really gone down there that much. All right, so we got our extra fancy dark. We also and so what we're doing the estate. I don't think I can do any of these auctions anymore. But let's do more of these. I do have so our estate coffee again. Maybe I have a 2 ounce sampler of that I can sell you guys. So the estate coffee combines all the best grades of the coffee into one. And the estate coffee is I'll give you a chance to get 3 pounds of it for 120. If you guys want a 3 pounder, 120 for 3 pounds of the estate dark. And this is the last of the estate as well for this price. Normally it's going to go $65, $72 a pound. So you are getting the end of this. Someone was selling, so Heiko, if you go to Heiko, they're selling their Hawaiian coffee $115 for 2 pounds. So like you're not going to find prices like this anywhere else in the whole world. This is just the best priced coffee you can find. Best priced Kona coffee. Mm, I don't have. Here we go. I found the dark sampler. So it's not, this is a 2 ounce bag of the dark Kona. And I'm sorry if you're from New York City and you're like, hey, are you talking about me? I don't know. New York City has some good people, but then at the very top, they're a bunch of narcissists. And once one of those people get you, then the rest of them, they're like lemmings. They're gonna come after you. They're gonna try to silence. They're just all ready. It's super interesting. They're just all ready to jump on you. So that's just how narcissist systems work. They blame the victim, and there were a lot of victims. All right, so I'll give you guys a chance to get this dark estate. $2. Dark DC probably means dark Katura. Spit on my keg. Dark Katura. Sounds like you got a dark Katura there. So this is a 2 ounce bag of our estate dark. This will make you 4 8 ounce cups. And the government, yeah, bunch of narcissists, right? But I mean, New York City is even, it's not just the government, it's the academia, the doctors, the local government, because they all think they're the shit. And they're just narcissists. And they should be under sanctions. I ran a $2 start. Sorry, guys. 2 ounce Kona Estate. This is the 100% Kona coffee. This one is the densest beans. It combines 16, 17, 18, and 19 screen coffee. So it's all the grades of Kona combined. You guys can try this 2 ounce sampler. We'll make 4 8 ounce cups, or about you're making 3/4 of a pot. You're not quite getting a full pot of coffee, but it's going to be a very strong and rich pot of coffee. Almost like a toasted caramel. It's very, very sweet, especially when you make it with a drip. I think drip is underrated. Drip coffee can be really good. You really get the sweetness out of this coffee when you do a drip. So you're going to enjoy that, I hope. And hopefully you'll come back for more. It got to a point when I was talking shit about New York City that there were New York City cops following me around in airports. You know how New York City had their own intelligence unit, like they're a federal government? And they literally had cops following me around in airports in LA and Hawaii. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Get out of here. Go home. Go back to that rat hole you crawled out of. Of course, they don't like that, but now they know I outrank them, so I can talk shit. Can't do anything about it, guys. I'm sorry. You're under sanctions. I think I might have given you a dark Kona, a dark Katura as the giveaway. But if you want to shoot me some pictures, I'll take a look at that. And then if there's anything else, today the former director of the Air Force Research Lab said he wants to join my spaceship company. So I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know what to say back to him yet, but that's kind of a big deal. Send me a picture, Spit. I think we're gonna have to look at that, and I'm sorry we had some issues. And one more $2 start on this. Yeah, send me some pictures, and I'll take a look at that right away. Yeah, he's a director of the Air Force Research Laboratory of the whole government, the whole federal government. He's the head of the research for the Air Force, and said, "I want to join your company." I was like, "Wow, what do I say back to that?" He wants stock though. I'm like, I don't have any stocks yet. Okay. What are we doing now? What are we doing next, guys? You guys have any? Let's do some chocolate. Cacao nibs. I got 4-ounce cacao nibs here. Cacao nibs are raw chocolate, raw cacao. It's the cocoa bean that's been broken. And honestly, I like selling coffee way more than I like selling spaceships. Selling spaceships, you just run into narcissists everywhere. Every one of them is an expert. They can't believe what they see. They can't believe what they feel. I can put the thing in their hand and they won't believe it. And then once you convince them, instead of coming around and being like, "Hey, I want to help you out," they just disappear. They don't want to talk to you because you humiliated them. So it's just complete waste of resources. Complete waste. They can't even be wrong. Possible scam. That's how I think, the good people send me messages is anytime, you know, I need to watch out for someone, they'll give me a phone call and it'll say possible scam or don't take this. Yeah, this is where I'm deficient, which is in my labeling. It's definitely a deficiency in my product. And I'm working on that. I really apologize. So if you're mad and you want me to send you what you think is missing, I will always send you something else. Um, we're having a lot of problems with our packing. No matter who I hire, it always gets screwed up. But it's better than it being 2 weeks late. So I'm trying to just get it out to you as quickly as possible. And then if there's something missing, I will send you the missing item, even if it's like we're just not sure. So if I make a mistake, I'm gonna fix it. But I know that's still a pain in the ass. So I'm sorry. Cacao nibs. Let's do some cacao nibs here. So cacao nibs is raw chocolate. This is 100% Hawaiian chocolate grown in Hawaii. Some of it's grown in Oahu, some of it's from Big Island. These are the chocolate beans that have been roasted and fermented. It's before you separate the cacao butter from the cocoa liqueur, which is like the dark chocolate. So it tastes like a dark chocolate nut. Really good to snack on. And this is a 4 ounce of the Hawaiian cacao nibs. Usually nibs from anywhere in the world is going to be $8 for 4 ounces. These are Hawaiian cacao nibs. So I'm hoping you guys will pay the $8 because when you buy these in the store, they're 2.5 ounces for like $13. I think I took some pictures of it. So people are charging a lot more for all of this stuff. But I want to keep it as affordable as possible. The $2 is a little bit too low there. So that's sort of like another sampler. Yeah, my TikTok is telling me now people, and TikTok tells me a lot of stuff too. They're like, now people are wondering how could they let this happen to him? How could this system have failed him? So a lot of people are getting nervous. So I appreciate you guys listening to my ranting. Hopefully, it has some systemic consequences, and I think there will be because New York City has just got it's a cancer. It's a cancer, and it needs to be dealt with. Zombox, good to see you. Albuquerque in the house. Albuquerque in the house. New Mexico's a good place, although it's got a lot of meth heads, right? Some crime. It's problems everywhere. All right, so no takers on the cacao nibs. Let's move on to another item. We got some chocolate covered mac nuts here that I'm selling at my cost because, and this is what they look like. They're actually really good. This is a high, like, definitely like gourmet chocolate. It's not just the chocolate covered mac nuts you buy in your, in your grocery store, in your drugstore. These are really fresh, velvety smooth chocolates. I'm just gonna run them at this is my cost. Don Platten, I'm good. Your parents are from Jersey. Jersey in the house. So these are the chocolate covered magnets here. Very velvety. Mm, mm. But I'm not going to sell any of these after these are gone because they're just too much. Like, even selling for $20, I'm making like $4 and they're so expensive. I don't make these. This is made by Manoa Chocolate. I'm starting to make my own, so I'm going to be able to lower the price. But I want to get you guys some to try. And this was the best I could do. I didn't realize. So this is like a luxury brand. They want me to charge you guys $20 for 2 ounces of chocolate. To buy chocolates will give you 4 ounces for $10. They want me to charge you $20 for 2 ounces. I'm just like, I can't sell your chocolate, guys. I'm just gonna clear it out at my cost. I got these last week, so they're super fresh. And they only made them 2 weeks ago. So you should grab these, although, they may melt, right? It's summertime, so that is a risk. But if you do want this really high grade chocolate that I don't even know what people are charging for these, try this chocolate covered mac nuts. Yeah, New York City, everywhere you go smells like weed, and they made prostitution legal there now, which doesn't surprise me. That was the only thing going for them anyway. Shit, this is the white coffee. So that place is just going down. It's a shithole. I hope all those people. I hope they put a law so that people there can't leave. That would make me really happy. Yeah, I hope they make that place communist and they put a law in where like if you live there and you were working there, you can't leave. You have to continue working there. I hope that happens. You got bad. Medium light, you're gonna XF. There should be an XF on there. XFM. Seattle's bad too. It's just the cities, right? At some point, the narcissists in each city, they can't. That's all they got going for them. They need the prostitution so they can hang on to their narcissists, because all those narcissists, they can't have relationships, so they go to prostitutes, and now they can't leave, because if they leave, then we're gonna rat you out. And so that's perfect. It's the perfect example of communism. You need the alcohol, you need the prostitutes, and you need the narcissists. There are three levels, and that's the Soviet Union. They're united, but they're united in mutual. Just they're mutually blackmailed, and that's how it works. So you always wonder how come they don't just leave? It's because they can't. Probably drugs in the water there too. They try to tell you it's the cleanest water on the earth. No, it's not. Probably put drugs in there. All right, guys. This is the white coffee. I haven't run the white coffee yet. So I don't know if you guys want some of this white coffee. It might make you start getting mad about things like I am right now. It definitely makes me upset when I start thinking. And white coffee makes you think. It feeds your brain. It makes you think. Sometimes you can think too much. And when you think too much, you don't want to feed your exactly trunk. Sometimes you just want to leave your brain unfed. I would say white coffee is a fine grind. Light coffee, you can still do coarse. But the white coffee, you want to grind it fine to extract the full effect out of it. So you definitely, the white coffee, I'll run some of that next. The white coffee is coffee that's roasted so light. Go on my YouTube channel and you can see some of the research that I've been doing on the compounds and the components of the white coffee. But the white coffee has, all of the antioxidants, all the polyphenols, all of the health benefits, all the healthy compounds in coffee are all concentrated in the white coffee, and all of the alkaloids, all of the trigonelline, the caffeine. It's just 10 times stronger than your dark roast. So, fine grind French press, great way to make it. The V60 is not as strong, definitely, and it tends to clog up the filter. So I think French press is a great way to make it. And here's an 8-ounce bag. We do the white coffee and extra fancy, which are the biggest beans. 8-ounce bags look like this. And let's see, where are we here? 8-ounce bags of the white coffee. Let me run a 2-ounce sampler. So here's a 2-ounce sampler of the white coffee. And it's the extra fancy grade, so it's the highest grade of coffee that we have. I believe you're right, no Annie. And if you go on my YouTube channel, you can learn why. Sometimes it helps us to learn why, because we've been conditioned by narcissists in New York and people like them to question ourselves. Like, am I feeling better? I don't know, right? But yeah, if you feel it, it's probably true. You're probably not making it up. And but sometimes it's good to have that research. And here's some of the you can check out my YouTube channel to get some of that research on the components, what's actually scientifically proven to be giving you the effects that you think you're feeling. You're not making it up. If you feel something, you're almost definitely not making it up. Whether it was a narcissist who threw some meth into your water and now you're unstable, you're not making it up. And the people who tell you're making it up probably are the people who did it to you, or the kids of people who did it. And then they're conditioned to just believe anytime someone complains, they're making it up, because that's the only way their parents could get away with it. Now I'm rambling, but the white coffee feeds your brain, makes you think, gets you going. Anything you recommend over another? It depends on what you want. So if you're with us, if you're trying this coffee for the first time, You'd be surprised, Rumpy, because it got to the point where I was taking a piss test every single week. First timer, I would start with the dark roast. The dark coffee will be smooth and sweet with almost no bitterness and no sourness. And we pick all of our coffee overripe, which is why there's so much sugar in it. Coffee is a fruit that grows on trees. And like any fruit, the difference between a fruit that's turned brown versus a fruit that's just initially red is 4 or 5 weeks. Huge amount of sugar difference, and coffee is the same way. We don't think of coffee like that, but it is. And so all of that acid reflux and indigestion you're getting from coffee is actually coming from unripe beans, whereas our coffee is all picked by hand. We hand select it. These are grown on small 6-acre farms. We don't spray with any chemical pesticides. So here is you can get a sampler or a larger bag. You got the Kona Dark already. Then that's the one. That's a good one. If you want to get a bigger bag, you can. This Hawaiian is one grade below the Kona, so it's cheaper by about 30 or 50%. So if you end up, I always tell people you should if you can just drink the Hawaiian coffee, that's the one you should drink because it's 90% as good as the Kona coffee. It's half the price. You can drink it every day, and it's gonna, it's not gonna give you the stomach issues that coffee will give you. Um, a lot of coffees will give you. And the dark Hawaiian is, I think, the one you should start with. No one's ever complained about our dark Hawaiian coffee. Some people have complained about the light roast because the lighter roasts, you gotta be more interested in specialty coffees. In some ways, light roast doesn't taste like coffee. It tastes more like a tea. It doesn't have that rich, bold, nutty flavor. Well, it has a nutty flavor in a different way, but it doesn't have that bold, rich flavor that coffee has. It doesn't have the toasted caramel. It's still like brown sugar. It's a little bit sour. It has a little bit of fruitiness to it. Whereas the dark roast is just a sweet coffee. You can't go wrong with the dark roast. It doesn't hurt your stomach. It doesn't give you the jitters because we don't spray our coffee with any chemical pesticides. We're only using naturally occurring soil funguses and soil bacterias. And as a result of that, a lot of pesticides are actually um, nerve toxins because bugs are very susceptible to nerve toxins for some reason. So nicotine, caffeine, those are all actually pesticides that the plant's producing. And so when you and we spray additional stuff onto the coffee. Well, we don't because we're using naturally occurring soil funguses. We use a soil fungus to kill the bugs. We have a bug on our coffee, and the soil fungus, when the bug eats that fungus, it becomes a little puff of fungus. So that's how we kill our bugs. It's kind of funny, actually, if you think about it. Kind of terrible, too. And then we have a soil bacteria, which kills fungus. So we spray those onto the trees. So it's all probiotics. And so that's coffee here, organically grown. They're grown on small 6-acre farms. All the coffee is hand picked, hand selected. And you don't really find coffee like this consistently anywhere else in the world. It really does come down to the picking, though. So most of the world's coffee picked with a machine. Even the hand-picked coffees, people are picking them red orange because in a lot of other countries, in a place like Honduras, they're paying their pickers $1 per 100 pounds of coffee, right? Whereas we're paying people $1 per 1 pound. We're paying people 100 times more to pick this coffee. As a result, we're only getting the overripe beans. This is Soulfly. Good to see you. This is our extra fancy beans that you guys are looking at right now. These are the biggest beans in the world. I love showing people these beans because they're just ridiculously large. They make other beans look like little Vienna sausages, whereas these are like, and that's kind of a funny comparison too, right? These are like big Italian sausages. Show you this. I don't have any mushroom coffee, unfortunately. I think South Shore Candies has some mushroom coffee, so or some mushrooms they can add to your coffee, and that is super healthy. So if you can, I don't like the taste of mushrooms, but if you like if you can handle mushrooms, good stuff, good healthy stuff. So extra fancy bean, Italian sausage, Vienna sausage. Can't tell the scale on these things until you put them side by side, right? Until you put it next to, and all the beans are this big, and that's what makes it extra fancy. It's just the biggest beans in the world, ridiculously big. So, bigger bean will mean smoother, sweeter, less jitters, and the extra fancy bean is just a very is the rarest coffee. It take well the excuse me, the pea berry is the rarest. The extra fancy is less rare, but it is the biggest beans. Pea berry takes it takes about 100 pounds of coffee to make 1 pound of pea berry. And I'll do one of these pea berries. This one's the rarest of all our coffees. It's the densest bean. It's sort of a novelty, and I'll let you guys bid on that too. And some of you guys will swear by pea berry. Like pea berries are the densest beans. They're like little footballs. Oops. And when you roast them, they come out with a more kind of a more what's it called? A more complex flavor than the standard coffees. You're probably right, Zombox. You don't use expensive coffee and flavor it. You don't use expensive coffee and add mushrooms to it because people want to taste the expensive coffee black. So let's do one more pea berry here. OG dark does not. Yeah, we don't. No pea berries that are OG dark. Oh, you want to try the OG dark? The the Katuai flap calf looks really small compared to our other coffees. Super small. Give me one sec. Okay. Somebody asked about chocolate covered beans. I do not have any chocolate covered beans right now. I will give you guys, how about a chance to get this OG coffee, which is the smallest beans that we have. And so I guarantee all our coffee not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion, but the OG coffee is going to be like all your other coffees. In fact, a lot of coffees that you're buying in the store is probably equal to the OG grade. So this is just, if you don't care, if you don't have any problems, you just want a good tasty coffee, you're not worried about, you know, anything other than the flavor. This extra dark tastes like a toasted caramel, extremely rich, and but same as our Kona, won't isn't going to be bitter, isn't going to be sour. You could drink it black. You don't have to really add cream or sugar to it. How about we do $1 start on this? This is a full pound, and I'm retailing these for 19. Sandon was getting it for 16, so don't overpay for it. But it is like a pizza or a Starbucks, but it's got the Kona flavor to it. It's it's got the Kona flavor. Oops. And this should be a little bit more than 14, but it's a full pound. Fugli's Crystals gets it for 14. All right, I'm gonna run it for the 16. If you guys want it for 16, this is a full pound. Tastes like Kona coffee. Just even has the same smoothness, same qualities, just a little bit less, maybe a little bit less smooth, and not quite as good for your gut health. So won't heal your gut like the other stuff. And this is a 1 pound of the OG. And if you can, I'll be right back. It's freaking retarded. Told. Ah, So I just gotta go check on my printer real quick. But I'm actually gonna use our highest grade of coffee. Eh, So, oh, did you just put more there?
Because I just think it's fine.
Oh, where's the computer?
There.
Did I bring it back
I
upstairs?
can-
Upstairs. Okay, that's why it's not printing. I'll be right back. So, OG coffee. What else we got going on here? And it's a new thing that I'm doing, so I'm not quite, I don't think I'm fully ready to sell the OG. I got to get into it. I got to drink it myself. If I drink it and it's good, then I'm going to be able to sell it. If I drink it and I'm not that into it, then I have trouble selling things I don't like myself. Let's do an 8-ounce bag of our medium Kona Estate. So the Estate coffee, let me just talk about it first. I always don't talk about things enough. They tell me I'm too fast. But our Kona Estate is all grown. Uh, um, was it having trouble again?
No, I just decided to put my hipper in it.
Okay. I think I need to keep it plugged in. So let's just do that. So I think it'll be fine now. I just got to keep. Sorry, guys. All right. Perfect. So it'll start printing now.
Also, there is this one that it only printed halfway.
Ah, okay. Just put that aside. I'll reprint it. And thanks. Thanks for noting that. All right. So let's see. What haven't I run? Okay, so I'll do an 8-ounce dark estate, 8-ounce medium estate. I'm out of medium estate, so I can't do that. Phew, that's close. So the 8-ounce dark estate is going to be probably the best deal today. It's the top 4 grades of our coffee: the prime, number 1, fancy and extra fancy. It's coming off a single 20-acre farm. One of our partner, what's it called? Who are part of the. It's an informal co-op, but it's basically coming off of these hills here. Within that crest, you see that crest over that's Captain Cook Monument. All the coffee is coming off the coffee off here. So this is the wettest part of Hawaii. Even when there's a drought, it doesn't get droughty here. So we just you can see the clouds already building up, and that's why this is the ideal climate to grow the coffee. Coffee prefers 50% cloud cover, and I do have an ocean view. This is my view here. So this 8-ounce dark normally goes for $65 to $72 a pound. Here's here's the where we are here. This is the ocean view. So my wife doesn't like living here because she says we have no walls, and she says it's dangerous. I don't really believe. I wonder, but I don't question. I am by Captain Cook. Yep. And this is all Kona coffee grown in South Kona. That's my pulping deck, drying deck. So this should be, you know, I'll run another one of these if we get to 20. If you're getting for 11, then that is kind of, you're doing really well if you're getting it for 11, just FYI. This is Kona coffee. Go online and look for Kona coffee, estate coffee. You're not, it's a dump. It is, Sandon. Is it a dump? My wife's like, you don't see it? You don't see that it's a dump? I'm like, I don't see it. I do see it, but I like it. So I'm just a dumpy person. And my wife doesn't like that. That's the part that bothers her. She's like, if you saw it, it wouldn't bother me so much, but you just don't see it, Ed. I'm like, people dream about living in places like this. And she's like, well, it's my nightmare. See, there you go, Elb. That's a disaster. But this is all her stuff. That is not my stuff. That's her stuff. It's her dump. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. This is all her stuff. Let's do one more of these. Get this above 15, guys. This is Estate Kona, 100% Kona coffee. Go online and look at the price of Kona coffee. And here, she needs some plastic bins. This is all her stuff. And she's saying it's my fault. And here, I'll show you the bedroom's kind of, I mean, it's still messy, but anyway. So we have a nice bedroom. And she wants to redo the bathroom. We just redid the bathroom. $10. All right, you guys got some two free samples right there. We're not doing any more of these. We're not doing any more of those. You guys missed. You guys maybe you think the estate coffee is the low grade stuff because you guys paid less for the estate than you paid for the off grade, which is it's a quirk of whatnot. You know, sometimes you just don't know what you're getting. What are we doing next? All right, I got this Hawaiian grade Katura. So the Katura coffee is a mutation in the coffee plant where the coffee bean does not turn, or the fruit doesn't turn red, it only turns yellow. And it's a denser bean. It's a sub variety of Arabica, so it's still Kona coffee, Hawaiian coffee in this case. It's still hand picked, but it's got this fermented honey flavor. It's kind of savory, and this is the only batch of Hawaiian grade Katura that I have. Thanks, Sandy. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that though. And so this one is a special type of Hawaiian coffee. It's it's savory. It's savory. It's got like a fermented honey finish, like real honey. And I don't know how that happened, but sometimes the coffee does have some honey in it. It tastes like a fermented mead. So it's pretty unique. I think I only have like 30 pounds of this and 30 pounds of the dark, and then that's it for the rest of the season. I'm completely out of Katura after this. So this is the last of it. I'll have more in October. So after this is gone, I'm only going to have the Katura in October. So grab this before it's gone. I have a few more of these, and this was just roasted on Saturday. It's also extremely fresh. It's a rare sub variety. There's only one farmer growing this in all of Kona, so it is. I can legitimately say this is the rarest coffee in the whole world right now. Is a yellow Kona Katura. This is going to be almost as good as the Kona Estate Katura that some of you guys have got. It's just slightly smaller beans, but in reality, it's almost impossible to tell the difference between a Hawaiian and a Kona grade. So that's why I always usher people towards the Hawaiian, unless you're like you really want to look at the beans or you want to kind of brag about the coffee or giving the coffee to someone who's a connoisseur. But if you're just drinking the coffee every day, yes. So the abbreviations you got the different roast level. So it goes D for dark, M for medium, L for light, W for white. And then we have the 4 grades, which is Hawaiian, which is an H. We have a Estate, which is an E. We have a Prime, which is a P. Extra Fancy, XF. And Peaberry is PEA written out. And I do have it in my show notes. If you want to go in there, you can take a look at it. We don't collect our heritage coffee. So we do have the original Kona coffee trees over 150 years old, and some farms do that, Crocodile. We don't do that. Um, for the same reason why I don't label my bags. It's just, or haven't figured out how to label my bags. It's just, my brain has trouble doing things like that. And so I don't have, but some people do that. And people charge a lot for that heritage coffee. I don't think there's much of a difference in the flavor because coffee isn't like a grape vine where the good. I was just getting to that. Yep. Crocodile. I don't think so. Crocodile Dundee. You guys remember him? What happened to him? I get confused between him and Earl, right? Crocodile Earl, the guy who got killed by a mantis. Didn't his son get killed too? Kind of funny. Anyway, sorry, off topic. But yeah, the flavor profile, honestly, I don't know if there's much of a difference because coffee isn't like, and what I noticed about our heritage coffee is it tends to be weaker, very, very weak trees because they're over 150 years old. They get affected by fungus and mold, and so I think the berries tend to be not as good. It's not like a grape where the vine continues to go down into deeper soil because we don't have that much soil here. Our soil maybe is 3 feet deep at best. Some people don't even have soil. So I think, yeah, Sandy, and I apologize for the confusion. I know it's frustrating for some people to the point where you maybe don't even want to order my coffee, and even though that makes me sad, I kind of understand that too. So I will tell you guys when I have all the packaging labels worked out so that's kind of fancy. Right now you're just buying, and that's part of the reason why I can give really good prices too. Um, but yeah, because we don't have much soil, you don't really get these deeper roots that changes the flavor profile like with grapes. So I don't really believe in the whole heritage coffee thing. But it's kind of cool. It's really cool to look at the trunks. The trunks are massive. And I do have some heritage coffee videos, maybe on the YouTube, I think. If not, I'll post them. Yeah, the trunks are impressive though. Like coffee trunks, they look ancient when they're 100 plus years old. Coffee can actually grow into a full canopy if you let them grow out. It's just we keep them pruned because the accessibility and the production is maximized when you keep them pruned every 3 years. But like the Japanese farmers out here back in the set before the 70s. Right now the farming community here is very much people who came out here in the 80s, like the hippie generation, and they're still the dominant kind of group of people who are farming the coffee field. They're getting into their 80s and 90s, so they're starting to, that's another reason why Kona coffee's gotten more expensive because as these hippies, literally hippies, like Vietnam War era hippies, and that's who I bought this farm from was a Vietnam vet who jumped on a grenade to save his buddies. And no one would buy this house because everyone thought it was a dump, but he got to retire because we bought it. Anyway, so it's harder for them to keep up with production as they're getting much older, and so they have to hire people to do it. And so it's just gotten the supply of Kona coffee has shrunk as a result of that because you don't have people taking over from the hippie generation. But they're the ones who really popularized. That's also why the coffee is typically Kona coffee is roasted so dark. It's just because those are the people, you know, back when coffee first got popularized, like really high end coffee, people were roasting the coffee very, very dark. And so that tradition continues out here. I have a bag of the dark Katura. This is a little bit richer than our standard Hawaiian coffees. It's got that savoriness to it. Sandon, you're hurting me. It was a dump when we bought it, and it's still a dump. You're right. You're right, Sandon. But the farm is nice. It was the best farm out of all the farms. The house was a dump. In fact, they wouldn't even insure it. And I was like, let's get it, let's get it. Because back then my wife was rich. So it's just like, but now she's not rich. So you should never make decisions based on assuming that, or I should never. But back then she was rich. So I was like, we'll fix it up. It's not going to be a problem. Now she's poor and she blames it on me, even though it's her mom that lost all the money. She still blames it on. She blames everything on me. I'm like, dude, your mom lost all your money because she spent it on sex changes and Bitcoin. It was a beautiful farm. Yep, Sandon is the best farm in the whole island. So we bought the farm, and they blame. Is that what they do, Al Penguin? You have the same experience. It's all my fault. It's because when I was younger, I would, blame her. I blamed her. I did because she was rich. So I blamed her. I was like, if you had just gotten me a lawyer, then all these people, all these narcissists in New York wouldn't have gotten away with it, but you guys spent it on sex changes instead. It's all your fault. And now it's all coming back to me. Every single thing I said, but if I tell her that, she flips out. I'm like, people would love to live your life. You don't but she doesn't get it anyway. And it doesn't help for me to say that, right? If your wife's mad at you, Crocodile, you're going to say, you're living the dream and you don't even know it. Now she's going to really kill you. Now she's really going to kill you. I've been with my wife since she was 19 and I was 18. So we've been living together. You better not say it. I used to say it. And every single time I said anything, it's coming back to me. Hey, Mark, how you doing? All right. I don't care as long as they can afford it. But I don't judge. There's all sorts of stuff going on in the world that we don't understand. As straight men, we have no idea what's going on, hillbilly. You don't know what it's going on down there. But I'm going to complain about it a little bit because I'm getting blamed for something that's not my fault. I did not lose that money. I did not spend that money. In fact, I was paying for it. I was working the Airbnbs. Let me just stop. Let me just stop. All right. Dark Katura.
Hey Eddie,
Yo.
that tire needs air.
Yeah, it needs more air. All right.
Get that ready.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
And so what? Did they fix the doors?
They still haven't fixed it, but if you wanna,
Do the paperwork.
yeah, we'll just do it. And they said they'd call you, but yeah, we'll just figure whatever you want to do.
But I'll turn the paper.
Yeah, let's just get off the insurance. So, all right, man. Thanks. Maybe I'll come by later, hang out. My buddy Mark. What's that?
I got judo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. There you go, hillbilly. Sometimes it's their last. Sometimes the last thing they can do. So there's a lot of cars still not fixed. It's tough. It's hard in Hawaii, guys. Hard in Hawaii. Life is hard. Don't judge. We don't know. We don't know the struggles people have. Not everyone tells you like I do. I just put it all out there, but not everyone's telling you, and it's hard. All right, but this is our Hawaiian Dark Katura here. I'm on the Big Island. I'm on the Big Island of Hawaii, and we're on the Kona side. Here, this is all coffee grown in Kona. All coffee. Some of the coffee's grown on my farm. It's all grown on this hill. Freshest coffee in the world. This coffee was literally roasted. What day is it? This was roasted on Saturday. So you're not gonna find coffee this fresh anywhere. I'm probably gonna send this out today or tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow the day after. You're getting in 3 to 5 days from then. Perfectly rested. Coffee has to be rested. The dark roast has to be rested for a week. The medium roast has to be rested for up to 2 weeks. I appreciate you picking some coffee up, El Penguin. Elb. What does El Penguin mean? And this Hawaiian Couture is special. This is the only batch of Hawaiian Couture that I have. There is only one farmer growing Couture in all of Kona, so I could legitimately say this is the rarest coffee in the whole world. Couture coffee is also already rare. It's probably less than 1% of the coffee people grow. Don't tell people that, Crocodile. Don't don't tell people that. This is supposed to be a secret. Now, but typically I don't run late night shows. It happens once in a while when I'm just like lonely and I need someone to unload on, and then I'll go on and you'll hear me start complaining and I'm not even paying attention and I'll start running the coffee for like $1 and you guys just take advantage of my pain. You guys take advantage of my pain. That's what this show should be about. The Devil's Deek. I've never had red eyes. Never had that. You guys are taking advantage of my pain. This is pain coffee. This coffee is grown with my tears. This is the purest pain you can drink. When you drink this coffee, you remember back 10 years ago they were talking about adrenochrome. That's right. That's right. You remember that. Remember adrenochrome? That's what this is. You guys are getting my pure pain from me. You guys are getting my youth in this coffee. We had a 6.0. We were at oops. Oh shit. I just All right guys, 10 left. I just ran this at a flash session. I'm gonna move on. I don't want you guys to see that. I did that by mistake. See, I started talking about my pain and now I screwed up. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. None of this is my fault. None of this is my fault. It's all your fault. Yeah, we had an earthquake, actually bad enough that FEMA came. My water tank's about to collapse. It was amazing. I wasn't here though. I wish I was. Maybe I wish I wasn't, but people were telling me they got scared. This was the biggest earthquake that ever happened. We were at the epicenter, but I had chosen to spend one more night in Oahu, and so I missed it. And it's always like that with natural disasters and me. Always missing it. One day late, $1 short. Probably a good thing, especially because we have a daughter. I feel like she would have been scared shitless from that. So I'm glad she missed it, even though maybe it would have been good for her to go through something like that, but maybe not. I don't know. All right, we got 8 ounce. I am my own natural disaster. That's what my wife says. You and my wife. I did not notice that one. Nope. Most earthquakes in Hawaii are not big enough to notice, but this one was big enough. It like knocked all the books off the shelves. We had broken glass everywhere. The water tank almost tipped over. Pieces of our roof fell off. It was amazing. But I wasn't here. So I missed the war. Fires. Yep, this house can burn down. Our neighbor's house burned down. We did have a small one. That one was really small though. That one, you don't even notice earthquakes like that when you're out here. But we had a big one. Amazing meme. Congratulations. All right, what are we doing here, guys? What do you guys want to do? Let's do some more 2 ounce samplers. Here's a sample of our dark Hawaiian. These are 2 ounce samplers of the dark. This one's the one I would say you should start with if you never had our coffee before. My favorite is the white coffee. Like, I just love the buzz from it. I'm like hooked. I love the feeling it gives me. I love how it makes me start rambling without any inhibitions. I love the white coffee. It's so strong and it gets me a little bit high. So that's why I like the white coffee. I like being messed up in the head, and this replaces the weed that I'm banned from drinking. Although now my wife's talking about me quitting the white coffee. She just wants me to be a monk. She wants me to be pure. Not even allowed to be addicted to food. I always say that though. It's like, you want me to get off the coffee, but you're addicted to food. I barely even eat. What's the difference? But that doesn't fly either. Nothing flies. So the only thing I could do is get her addicted to the white coffee, and then we're good. So she's getting on the white coffee. All of you guys are getting on the white coffee. It's strong. It's the strongest coffee out there by far. You're never gonna find a coffee this strong. Um, and it's because there's this other compound in coffee called trigonylene. And when you roast the trigonylene to 250 degrees, it becomes something called methylamine, which is the meth part of methamphetamine. It's just coffee that's roasted extremely light. It's coffee that's roasted to 350 degrees. Our light roast is 400, your dark roast is 450, so it's a full 100 degrees lighter than the dark roast. And because of that, all of the compounds in the coffee are still bioactive. They haven't caramelized into more flavor. And so the white coffee is strong. I'll do a $1 sign on this. Try this white coffee. You will notice it makes everything better. It makes you focus. It makes time fly by. But if you stop drinking it, a little bit like that too, I definitely start rambling about stuff that I shouldn't talk about. And then afterwards, I kind of go into my room and curl up. If I have more than one cup of this coffee, like the other day, remember I did a 6-hour marathon? You did win the white coffee, Buck. And you're paying more for this 2 ounce of white coffee than you paid for 6 ounces of dark. And that's the nature of this show. We'll do one more of the. This one's at 8. So anyway, I had 4 cups of this white coffee the other day, and I think I just recovered from it 2 days ago. So it is strong. You don't want to drink 4 cups of it. Just drink 1 cup. Don't drink 4 cups like me, because I was curled up in the ball for 2 hours. The next 4 days were hell. I was just, I was tired, and I was like, "What is going on?" It's just, so you have two, no problem. Well, you guys are stronger than I am. You guys are stronger than I am. But this is the highest grade of coffee we have. That's why it's the extra fancy. We sometimes do this in a white a Hawaiian, which is going to be cheaper. But I've been doing this in extra fancy because it's the least. It has almost zero jitters because of how high the quality of the bean is. A little bit, Elb. It is a little bit. Do I look tired? Because I'm feeling good today. That's the weird part. The days where I feel good, I look tired. The days where I'm tired, I look like I'm wired. So today I'm actually feeling good. I had two great nights of sleep. I had this dream last night that we were in a nuclear war, and like everybody was like could only live in this one small area, and I was and but then it was like everyone wanted the white coffee, so I had to roast all this coffee. I was like, how am I going to get paid for this, because all the banks are gone, and no one has credit cards. Am I even going to get paid? And I dropped off 20 pounds to this lady who ordered 20 pounds of white coffee. I didn't save it. I was just trying to fill orders the whole time. That's what I dream about now. So it was just this wasteland, but I had this 20-pound order of white coffee, and I didn't know how I was gonna get paid. And I dropped it off with this lady. That's all I dream about, is filling your orders these days. I don't have dreams other than filling orders. It's always about coffee. And I was just like, oh, how am I gonna get paid for this? Because the banks are all destroyed, and now I don't even know if I'm gonna get paid for. Are they gonna pay me for this white coffee? That was my dream. That's what happened. And after the nuclear war, I'm still obsessed about just trying to get this coffee out in time and getting paid. Are they going to be able to pay me? Mongoose pelts. So I was saying, you guys, if we have a global meltdown, you want to have 100 pounds of green coffee in your cellar, ready to go, right? Because that's going to be the currency. That and cigarettes, but cigarettes go bad, whereas coffee stay good for years. And so if you're the guy with 100 pounds of Kona coffee in your cellar, when shit hits the fan, you're gonna be good. You don't need a gun. You know, you don't need body armor. You just hand out that coffee to everyone around you. And here's another one. I used to give cigarette I used to buy cartons of cigarettes and give them out to homeless people in New York City, and they shut me down. They didn't want that. They did a s I was reading on TikTok, they did a study where, like, people during, like was it during the Serbian thing? Remember with the Serbian genocide when Yugoslavia broke up and it was just shit hit the fan? People who were armed got killed first. So people who were armed got killed first. Keep that in mind. People with the coffee, everyone loves you. No one's gonna kill you. That's the thing, you know. Someone has to pull that trigger. And most people aren't gonna shoot you. They'll shoot up in the sky, they'll shoot your feet, but it not that many people are just gonna kill a random person. You gotta be at war for that to happen. Who's PLP? Biggest staples. People today. I do. I meet a lot of people. They threw me to the wolves. And you know what? My theory held true. I let them steal from me. I let them harass me, and now they just want to be nice to me because they feel bad. They feel bad. They're like, that guy was actually really nice. We did all this shit to him, and he didn't do anything back. All he did was give us more coffee. And now everyone around here, I'm in. I'm one of the guys because they abused me. I didn't fight back, and now every time they see me, they feel bad. It works. But you got to go through that abuse. So I'm never moving again because then I'm gonna have to do that again. There were people waving guns at me out here. It was crazy. It was interesting. I'm never. It was, they just came out of the woodworks. They were waving automatic weapons at me, and I didn't do anything. I just smiled, waved, give them some coffee, invite them to dinner, and now every time they see me, they feel bad. They're like, we tried to intimidate him, and all he did was give us more coffee. What kind of people are we? What kind of people are we to do that to someone like that? So keep that in mind anytime you move. Don't fight back. Don't be a hero. Maybe it was their plan. Yeah, they were testing me, right? They were testing to see what kind of person I was. Because they're still people. You can't, everyone's a person. Everyone wants to do good. Everyone has a motivation to do good. But it's just the scale, it's the perspective of the scope of how good they are, right? You can want to do good for your gang, or you want to do good for your county, or you want to do good for your and by doing good, you got to do some bad. The more good you want to do, the more bad you're willing to do. All right, guys. I had to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing? What did you relapse into? Oh, cigarettes. I was never into cigarettes. Cigarettes always made me nauseous. When I was 16, I smoked a whole pack of cloves and I puked, and then I never smoked again. So, I think all right, guys. I'm going to start wrapping this up, so let's just how about we do one. I'm gonna do one deal of the day, guys. 1 3 pound bag of the Hawaiian Dark. You guys ready? 1 3 pound bag, going for whatever it goes for. I hope it doesn't go for $10. 1 3 pound bag of the Hawaiian Dark. I'm gonna do 1 3 pound bag of the Hawaiian Light. And this is the 3 full pounds. This is 4 12 ounce bags. They're selling 2 pounds of this for $115 at Highco. So if you came to Hawaii, you'd be paying $115 for 2 pounds. This is 3 full pounds, and it should, we retail these for $40 a pound. So you're talking $120 retail, or $115 for 2 pounds if you bought it from someone else. And this is the dark roast. This is the best one overall drinking. It tastes like a toasted caramel. All hand picked, guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. Or I will give you, well, this is 3 pounds. So I don't want to say I want to give you money back, but hopefully you know what you're buying. 3 pounds, guys, sitting at $36. This is gonna be whole bean. This was roasted on Saturday, so it's like 2 days old, and so it's still got that freshly toasted flavor. Big beans. Compare these beans to the coffee you guys are getting from anywhere else in the world. No mold, no pesticides. Um, you can tell. Oh my god, you guys, $44. I don't even know what to say to that. Well, congratulations. That's what I have to say. All right, no more. I can't do these $1 starts. I can't do these. So the mold you can tell because it'll make your mouth feel moldy. You ever have moldy like old fruit, and it has that weird kind of saccharine taste to it, almost like, I don't know, it feels kind of like prickly. It's like a sweet prickliness. I don't even know how to describe it. But I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Coffee will taste the same way. Coffee will give you that same kind of, it kind of blooms in your mouth, and that's how you tell it's moldy. It really just comes down to that. You should be able to tell coffee is moldy because it makes your breath smell. It feels like it gets worse with time, whereas this coffee makes your mouth feel smooth. It doesn't make your mouth taste bad. But that last auction, I do think if you roast your own coffee, that's even better. Yep. The fresher the coffee, because all coffee has some mold in it, right? All coffee has a little bit of mold in it, but if you let coffee sit, that mold germinates, and then as it gets older, it even that mold goes from 1 part per million to 10 parts per million to 100 parts per million, which is almost nothing. But then when you drink it, coffee has a lot of nutrients in it, a lot of amino acids, and the second you drink it, that mold grows. It just explodes, and that's why you're getting sugar cravings, because mold gives you sugar cravings. That's why your stomach hurts, all sorts of problems, partly due to old moldy coffee. So if you feel like your coffee is giving you bad breath, or you know feeling weird, tasting like sticky in your mouth, like you know, that's probably because of the mold. So you want to be careful of that. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this show up. You guys have any last requests? That last 3 pounder killed me, so I'm not. I'm done. I'm done with you guys. Yeah, I'll raid herbs, soils, and things. Thanks, Fugly's Crystal. A lot of that is because of the mold. Yeah, definitely. Did you want the 1 pound? I can do the 1 pound of the OG. That's a full pound. So these are the smallest beans that we have. This is an extra dark, if you want to try this one. And then I'll also run a pound. I'll run 12 ounces of the Hawaiian, which is a higher grade, bigger beans, cleaner beans than the OG. This one is a new extra dark, which is toasted caramel, has the oils on them. And this is our cheapest coffee, almost as cheap as coffee that you're getting, and still a higher quality. So you will notice it is still a higher quality than the coffee that you guys may be getting. And this is an experiment. So this is the extra dark coffee, which has a little bit of oil on it, whereas our normal dark doesn't even have oil on it. It's a little bit lighter, right? This is our dark. I don't. This one's closer to our extra dark, and you can see these beans are all really, really nice. If the beans are shiny, that is a little bit of oil. Yeah, and darker roasts tend to be shiny. It's like how moisture coalesces on your windshield. Oil doesn't do anything. It's just the darker bean. It can go rancid faster when you bring the oils to the surface. If you see oily coffee, you want to freeze it, or maybe you want to be a little bit more cautious as to the age. Coffee also gets oily as it gets older, either darker or older. Let's do this is a 12-ounce bag of the dark, and I'll do a 12-ounce bag of the light, and then I'm gonna do herbs and things as a raid at Rumpy's request. And if you guys have any last requests, let me know. Zeolites. We used to use zeolites as catalysts in the lab. All right, guys. Any last requests? Otherwise, I'm going to send you guys on a raid. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining me.